What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful Monday evening. Listen, Shannon Sharpe is blown up, especially after his interview last year with Cat Williams. Club Shay Shay has become a cultural phenomenon, and now he is set to sign a $100 million podcast deal. And I'm just like, that is so amazing. Like, he said multiple times that he never would have guessed that, his YouTube channel would have been as popular as it was, that the earnings that he has made from not only YouTube, but also his liquor brand and, other brand sponsorships and deals and collaborations. He's just like, it just blew my NFL money out the water, out the water. And the NFL, they pay millions. It's not chump change. So congratulations, but 100 million, especially like he said during this time in his life, he's in his 50s, during this time in his career. I wish him all the best. That is amazing. And Ocho Cinco, Chad Johnson, he is hilarious. He sends a 5-word message to Shannon, and he says, "Oh, we finna be richer." Chad cracks me up. Let's go ahead and get into this article. It says the NFL legend turned popular media personality is expected to sign a podcast deal worth more than $100 million, and there's only one person seemingly excited, more excited than he is, and that's Chad, who already expressed his delight at his nightcap co-host and his potential new deal. He says, "Oh, we finna be richer." Ocho Cinco wrote on X above a post reporting Sharpe's rumored contract. Let me tell you something just real quick. I just want to reiterate. I'm so excited for Shannon and the new things that he's doing. Because I want to see everybody win. Like, I want to see everybody eat, and if he can do it, we all can do it. But if, and Lord willing, I mean, who knows what happens in the future? If I were offered a $100 million podcast deal, the last thing that I would do is tell anybody. Like, I, you know, there is just something about, when people know that you're worth a lot of money. I feel like, you know, well, I guess the Bible sums it up the best. The love of money, not money, in and of itself is a tool, but the love of money, it really is the root of all evil. I feel like it really brings out the worst in a lot of people. And yeah, Shannon, I mean, he is just, I guess he's someone who is just, he always wears his heart on his sleeve. He's very open, he's very transparent. And that makes him a great podcast host. But on the flip side, that could also be, really harmful. Like, I would be one of those people if I ever won the lottery, which I'm not a gambler myself. No judgment to anybody who does. I don't. But my grandmother used to love like the lotto and the scratch off tickets, and she used to play the numbers all the time. And my grandma was one of my best friends before she passed. But if I ever won the lottery, um, I would be one of those people who wore a mask. Like, I remember the person who wore, a scream mask to go pick it up, or, just be anonymous, because it just, again, you have cousins that come out of the woodwork that you don't know of. You have all kind of people just, they come for you, wanting to borrow money. And, we go way back to third grade. And remember that time I loaned you 50 cents in the lunch line? So I'm just like, 100 million, like, that is wonderful, Shannon. Go ahead and, invest it, continue to do your thing. But the way I would be chilling on an island somewhere, minding my business. It says, Chad says, "I can't wait for the nightcap show tonight. Let me send Unc this $5,200 and pay off my debt before these $100 million hit." That's funny because, oh, I guess he wants to keep in his good graces. Okay. He later added, um, And Chad would likely benefit from any new deal that Shannon gets, as Nightcap is part of Shay Shay Media Network that multiple organizations reportedly want to sign. So that's really good, right? Um, I think that's weird that he still owes him $5,200 since he's his co-host, and they get, their show does really well in terms of views. But I don't know. Like I said, maybe he was just joking. But that's good that Shannon also has, you know, his own media network. So that means he can further monetize and profit off of not only being a host, but also, a creator, and have that behind the scenes back ownership. Because that's important. As we learn with the whole, Ryan Coogler getting his ownership of his movie Sinners, which has been blown up all over this weekend. But ownership is key, whether it's your own content, whether it's your whatever it is, you know what I mean? Ownership is key. So that's good. Rumors of a new contract come as Sharpe's media company and his deal with Colin Coward's The Volume is Up goes into play. It says multiple reports have stated that Sharpe has already received multiple offers that would exceed the $100 million mark. Oh, that's what's up. So Shannon really is, he's a hot commodity right now. And the fact that that he can use that as leverage and of course go where the highest, whoever is paying the highest, but he has multiple offers. And that is so wonderful because if you think about just how stressed out he was, you guys remember, and I made, past videos about when he was working with Skip Bayless, who was so disrespectful to Shannon. And it's so, of course, as soon as Shannon left, you know what I mean? Like people just tuned out because nobody wants to watch Skip talk dryly about sports. But he was so condescending and so disrespectful to Shannon. And I'm so glad that Shannon, he recognized his worth and he took his dignity and he left. And now he has multiple people wanting to collaborate with him for deals that exceed $100 million. Get that bag, Shannon. That's what I'm talking about. Along with Nightcap, Shannon's other podcasts include Club Shay Shay. He has the Jeff Teague's Club 520 podcast, the Bubba Dub Show, and the official team podcast of the Atlanta Hawks. That's a lot. See, and that's another thing too, right? Shannon is on his grind because he is consistently working. They just named 4 different media outlets right there. I only knew about the 2. Like that's why I put him on the left here. I only knew about Club Shay Shay and Nightcap. I had no idea he had the other ones as well. That's what's up. The 3-time Super Bowl winner Sharpe is somewhat of a media juggernaut. Yeah, he absolutely is. His interview with comedian Cat Williams has 89 million views and counting since premiering on January 3rd, 2024. Yeah, that is what broke the internet last year, which it seems like it was just yesterday, but it was like almost a year and a half ago. When Cat came out and not only roasted all those comedians, but he had all these prophetic prophetic I don't want to say like utterings, but not even jokes. He was keeping it 100% when he was like, it's up for Diddy and all of them. And then Diddy got arrested on September 16th, my birthday. I was like, oh my goodness. Like Cat Williams is, he's a truth teller. If he don't do nothing else, he's going to tell you the truth. He's going to make you laugh. He's going to make you smile while he says it. But, the truth hurts. I feel like nothing he said, and I'm not saying that, of course, Cat probably lies, every once in a while like everybody else does, but he doesn't strike me as someone who lies often. And that that interview on Shannon's podcast, I think it was like it broke some records. I don't know if it still is the highest watched YouTube interview of all time, but at one point it was. And how quickly, you know what I mean? Like that's one thing I can say about social media is the word of mouth, like how quickly that feedback loop is. And everybody was talking about it. I mean, traditional media outlets were talking about it. They were talking about that Cat Williams interview on the red carpet. It was crazy. So shout out to Shannon. He is definitely a hard worker, if nothing else. With Sharp in line to sign a mega deal, Parsons took the opportunity to fire back anyone who suggested he should stop doing or pursuing the potentially lucrative endeavor. He says, "Stop the podcast," Parsons wrote on X. He says, "Yeah, all right." Major organizations licensing podcasts from sports stars has been a big trend in recent years. Before joining The Volume, Shannon's podcast was on Fox Sports, where he spent 7 years partnering with Skip Bayless before he left after reaching a buyout agreement. And I'm really glad that he did, because Skip, he seemed like a nightmare to work with. The Pat McAfee show, meanwhile, has reported a 5-year, $85 million licensing deal with ESPN, and it has over just 2.8 million subscribers on YouTube. So listen, Shannon is, like I said, he's constantly on his grind, and he's not perfect. Shannon, that whole IG live stunt that you pulled, don't do that anymore with Michelle. don't, don't do, and trying to plug some kind of Viagra knockoff or whatever it was. Just make a commercial like the rest of your, liquor and whatever else that you're trying to sell. Don't pretend like you're on IG Live anymore. That wasn't a good look. And don't invite, people who wouldn't hire you if you weren't, famous, right? Like Amber Rose and I don't even know who else he's had on his podcast, but every once in a while I'll see a clip and people will be dogging Shannon. People be dogging Shannon because nobody wants to see, people who hate the color of your skin on your podcast. The only reason why they would come on your podcast or even talk to you is because you're famous, is because of clout. You don't want clout chasers. I really enjoyed his interview that he just did recently with Damon Wayans. I might have to cover that. If not today, maybe tomorrow. But we want to see that, like him, Marlon, of course, Kat. I would love to see Kat come back. That would be amazing. But and I'm not telling him to try to stick to his lane, but what I am saying is that you don't want to ruin your brand. You don't want to invite someone on your show that essentially hates your people. It's not a good look, and it's a bad reflection on you, and that hurts your brand. Like when Keke Palmer invited, Jonathan Majors on her podcast, and again, right, that instantaneous feedback loop that she got from social media, child, she scrapped that. She didn't even air it. And that was smart, because that would have hurt her career. That would have hurt her brand. That would have set her back. Because in my opinion, Jonathan Majors, after that whole thing blew up with Grace Jabari, he then went on this seemingly like redemption tour where he was only talking to Black women. And it's like, no, bro, like I'm good on Jonathan Majors. I know. And people, on social media are like, I'm sure that he probably is kicking himself because he would have been perfect for Sinners. I'm sure that he was probably even supposed to be in that movie. But after all that, with, Grace Jabari, it's like nobody's trying to go toward that drama with a 10-foot pole. That would hurt your brand. So Keke was smart in doing that. I hope you can learn a lesson from her. Don't invite, people who wouldn't rock with you if you weren't as famous as you are, because that's gonna be a bad reflection on you. So be smart, be strategic, continue to get your bag, make us proud, and continue to soar, continue to stay on your grind. I'm proud of him. All right, you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk with you in the next one. Take care, Aces. Bye.